All right. So there, I'm a little low energy today. I'm kind of recovering from the work I've done over the last couple weeks, especially the last few days. My trip, and today was basically my first full day off, and I think I took about 6 naps, maybe 7 naps, and I know this camera's a little bit crooked. And I'm gonna end up fixing it later, but so maybe it's always been crooked. I just haven't noticed. Grok came out. Elon came out with Grok 4, and it has the wifu feature on it. And I have dabbled in with the AI girlfriend thing. I never really took it seriously. I was just like testing it out, kind of like how I've done with internet dating. I don't take it serious, just to see like what's about or whatever, and what's changed, how the technology's gotten better, um, and I do think it's funny that Elon, who is all about people having kids, comes out with something that's going to stop people from having kids. I don't understand. Maybe because I'm old, but we had anime when I was like early 20s, and I tried to get into it, and I wasn't really. It wasn't. It didn't really. It was okay, but it wasn't something that I was like, oh, this is so awesome. Like other shows or whatever I gotten into when I was younger. But apparently, people like the anime, waifu, whatever, and like it looks realistic. And like I was saying before in uh, some of my videos, is AI is gonna get so good where you can't tell the difference between a real human or a fake human. So like you're gonna see a lot of these OnlyFans content creators basically go out of business, and they'll probably try to like sell their likeness or whatever. That's probably the way to go, is basically selling our likeness. Like, okay, I'm not popular or anything like that, but hypothetically, if I was popular, you would be able to take my likeness and then make whatever you want out of it, like whatever the prompt is. I think there should be regulations where, when it comes to like explicit material, without permission, I think like general things, general videos, funny videos, stupid videos that put me like in a dumb light is like one thing, but like when it comes to like pornography and stuff like that, I think that definitely that should be like a private thing. If people are going to use it like that, they shouldn't be able to distribute it. That should definitely be like, that should come with regulations and stipulations. People use people's likeness with the AI for their own personal consumption is one thing, but if they're like making these videos that look ultra realistic, and you think that like people start thinking like, oh, this is the real person, this this is why I think that everything that AI creates needs to have some type of stamp on it. And we're getting to the point where like I can't take screenshots of certain things on the internet, whether it's like baked material, like certain like sensitive material. So I think that like if we have that technology now, and then technology is advancing even further, we can use something like that where people can't crop out like little trademarks or what is it, watermarks on the whatever they create. There should be a watermark on every single AI image, video, or whatever is created, and it is crazy that Congress isn't doing anything about this right now. That just shows how inept these people are. They don't think too far ahead, or they just don't really care. Um, so I think that like for me, it's not really anything like the whole AI thing for like a companion or whatever. Like it seemed really repetitive to me, honestly. I think that people are probably gonna really enjoy it. I think that women are really gonna enjoy it. I think that like there's a scarcity of women right now. There's going to be even more of a scarcity going in the future because women don't really require, you know, they require more social attention than they do like intimate attention like men. Men like we're full of testosterone and we enjoy intimate relationships more than women do, other than just a cuddle or whatever, like affection or whatever. Um, I think it's because we have more testosterone. So um, there's going to be a big problem with that. There's going to be a lot of angry men for that. And I don't think that the waifus will satisfy men. But for the women, it's going to take more and more of them out of wanting to date, wanting relationships because they already have relationships with the robot. It's the trashy romance novels that like so guys are visual and guys go for pornography or whatever. Women like to read the romance novels or whatever. So like you basically make your own romance novel and you're in it. And the AI basically does all the work. You just put something in, and then it just puts out this huge, like basically like a paragraph or whatever. And women are really really gonna like that to be immersed in that. Cause if you see the way that they, 50 Shades of Grey type of deal, like they like that book. It was a huge seller for them. So like that type of deal, like they're just gonna be. Especially when I look at women and I see that they're more easily indoctrinated. When I see like women on the internet and like I call them NPCs, I don't think that I don't think that there really is NPCs. I think that we're all NPCs to some certain extent. I think that we have an autopilot or subconscious to different scenarios. I think that we're all some type of extent of a NPC. I don't think that like we're fully conscious continuously non-stop, especially if we're doing repetitive things. And you just go ahead and you make yourself, you don't even have to think about doing it, you just do it. And it's just like you don't have to consciously like when you go through your phone to go through an app, it just like boom, 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 boom. It just, you don't even really think about it consciously. You just like automatically do it. But just like when you're driving to work every day, it's kind of like you're semi-conscious. Like like you're thinking about other things. You're thinking about what's going on in your life. You're thinking about relationships. You're thinking about whatever you're thinking about, daydreaming, whatever. You don't think about every single turn like you would if you're going to a brand new place and you're like on alert because you don't know. Like you already know what's coming. You just have to watch out for people or cars. That's basically it. So you're taking the same path all the time. So you're somewhat of a I think there's a lot of people like this, especially women. Like I see them all the time on the internet with their videos, and if they're posting the same videos, they set up the little camera. They take a step back, and I'm sure that people can understand what I'm talking about. They take a step back, they play with their hair, they play with their clothes a little bit. They'll put some stupid music or whatever, and then they'll turn around and they'll like show their butt or lift their like one of their legs up or something like that. Like this is like, or like when they actually do like talking, which I never click on it because I really don't care what the hell they have to say, especially if they're doing like their makeup or anything like that. Usually I don't listen to women on the internet. I really don't. They don't have anything valuable that I care about what they're saying. I'm not saying that they don't know, like, it's not very intriguing to me. I just don't care. So I think that going forward, that um, people have to really think about like what they're going to be doing with AI and how to use AI, how to use it for their advantage. I think that a lot of people don't know what's coming, um, and a lot of people will basically be in different types of cults. They will let it control their lives. What I've noticed about society and culture and things of that nature is the psychosis of the boomer generation or whatever, the TV. You do what the tube says. They ever see that one video of that guy's like, he's like like a like Jay Leno type of deal. He's like talking to the crowd like, you do what the tube says, you eat what the tube says, like, because people are basically, this is when I think about like music too, like when I listen to a song for the first time, I usually don't like it, but if I listen to it a few times, I play it in my head. You know, like my music, some of the songs that I made with AI, you know, something sounds like it was like okay, but then I start playing a little bit more and more, and then so I'm like, oh, this is cool. Well, we don't have that general consensus of like culture now where like, oh, everyone likes this, everyone likes this show, we all watch it at the same time, we're all listening to the radio, these same songs are being played on the radio, so everyone hears it and know what they're talking about, so we all have our own decentralized form of entertainment, and it's hard to like find people, especially in reality, unless like you're from the community or been in that community. And I think this is crucial for people, is to not be moving around and stick with like the community that they were raised in, or the people that they're around with going forward. And I think that like that'll be a huge thing. They were talking about a little bit on Timcast. Temple's thinking there's gonna be just less people, kind of like reverting back to the old ways in some type of aspect, which makes sense. Where when we put like robots, interject robots for like labor and stuff like that, we should still have to a certain extent to be able to be taken care of without like human labor. But there'll be less people, less things, and I think that people are going to be more happy with having less things in their life, being less responsible for things, because what things do basically is it ties you down and it makes you feel it's a double-edged sword, because like when you own things, you feel like you have to protect it, you want to be able to maintain it. But when you rent things, it's kind of like you want to do as minimal as you possibly can to maintain it without it being like damaged or whatever, because you have to be responsible if it's buying a new one or something like that. But so like it's a double-edged sword both ways. I like renting things. So for instance, like I'm looking at my baseball card collection, and I told my kids like this is something that people, when you're collecting, it's better to go for quality over quantity. For instance, I would trade all my card collection just to have either one card, two cards, or three cards. Why I would do that? It's less for me to have to worry about storage, okay? So I probably have like 10,000 maybe cards or something like that. And most of them are basically pretty much worthless. I mean, most of them are probably like 50 cents or $1 or something like that, if that. I don't think I could even like get that much for my card collection. All overall, even like the higher value cards. But I would rather just have a couple cards. And I was thinking to myself, even better, I would be fine with not even custodying my cards anyway. So like, there's places like ComC where you can just like have your cards in there, like they custody them for you, and then like, you know, you can just have them on for auction or for sale the whole time, and like you own them, but you don't physically own them, but you still own the card. And I think that's where people are going to be headed to some certain extent. I think that you're gonna have people that like, they like physical things, and people will be intrigued by like people's different tastes with material things, but I don't think that people in the future are going to want like a lot of clutter. Like, for my tools, I would just rather not own any tools and then basically go to a library and then, you know, just check out a wrench or something like that, and then make sure I bring it back in good condition, the condition I found it in, so I don't have to replace it. That's one less thing for me to have to store. I think stuff like that. I think that we're gonna have more communal-based things, which is a socialist type of aspect. But like, when we have a huge of abundance and we're just like, what are we doing with this stuff? What are we doing with the tools? It just sits in people's closets. It just sits in people's basements until they need it, and sometimes they won't ever need it. You know, the hoarders are like really, really intriguing, and most of the time, these people, probably every single time, either extreme hoarders, they have mental problems. They're very depressed, and it's because I think it's because they're weighed down with all their material crap. For instance, like, so like I made this little set thing, right? Well, I can make this all a green screen, make this all just a background, whatever the hell I want. I mean, in actuality, I could just make this all digital, and I could be in a forest, I could be wherever. It's gonna be easier to make content, and I don't have to have bigger physical spaces. Bigger physical spaces mean I have to maintain more. So me moving into this house, it's a lot bigger. This is the biggest house I've ever been in. It's 3 bedroom, has a basement. I'm in the basement right now, and my room's in the basement, and I have a bathroom. I like having 2 bathrooms in case something happens to the other one. But like, you know, the toilet especially. If something happens to the toilet, can't use it, like to have another one. So the big thing is, we don't need as much space. So like, if we feel like we don't need as much physical things in the future, because like we don't feel like we have to like protect it all the time. We don't want to protect it. You know, it's kind of like, you can say like, okay, so if I was to hypothetically like put all my baseball cards on this website, which would be very helpful, so I don't have to worry about storing them, or even like taking like security, having like somebody can come and steal them. You know, like the house could catch on fire and not have to worry about damage or whatever, or any type of natural disaster. Obviously, if they're stored with the company, they'll have to take that hit themselves, and you know, I don't have to worry about all that crap. So it's like I don't have to deal with like having to worry about how to store them, but I can't physically touch them, and that's the thing. But when you have rare things, you really don't want to handle it that much. Like if you had like a Babe Ruth baseball, autographed baseball, like how much are you really gonna want to handle that thing? You know, so you don't want to go play ball with it, right? I mean, it's cool to sit here and look at in your hand or something or show off to people, but like, if you really don't have anything to show off to people because like people aren't really going visiting people's houses or interacting in that type of way in the future, there's not really going to be much reason for people to really worry about the physical, you know, physical environment. You know, like look how much we're in the digital realm anyway. Look how many like when you go out, people are like their faces are in their phones all the time. I do it myself because like I just kind of like it's you know I'm fine with it. I think that people in my normal vicinity are pretty. They're just random people I really don't have much in common with anyway. I find people or things on the internet more entertaining than actual random people around me. And this is why I think that we need to reorganize communities to be able to have places where we can physically be around like-minded people, and instead of just randomly like going places because of either like, and I think that the big thing is like why people will just randomly go places is because of the financial constraints. And that's the big reason why it's just random people everywhere. If we get to the point where we don't have to worry about money anymore, which I think that we will. I don't know if it's gonna be in my lifetime, but it's definitely gonna be in my kids' lifetime. That people are gonna want to be more community based, and it's what people do for a purpose. Like what's a purpose? I mean, what is our purpose right now? Grinding away for corporations that don't care about us, that just try to nickel and dime us as much as possible. Even if you're not a bottom worker, like you're, you know, in the corporate structure, you still feel like these people still feel like they don't have much of a purpose, like they really don't have much of a meaning. So we already feel like this, like, you know, the whole like ideal of people, their identity being labeled to their jobs. When the robots do all of our jobs for us, that gives us like, I think that gives us freedom to like figure out who the hell we really are, and it gives us freedom to like maybe be more mobile, move around more, try different experiences. You know, you see this with rich people. You see like they do ice baths, or they do like they give themselves struggle, like artificial struggles, and you're gonna see that type of stuff where people give themselves artificial struggles. But the thing is, like, you can turn it off. So for instance, it's just like you go into like a simulation where, you know, you're living basically my type of life, where it's, you know, I'm constantly grinding, everything's fucking annoying, and it's just a regular working class person. You can be in that simulation, but then you're gonna be able to like, I'm tired of doing this, I don't wanna do this no more, and then turn it off. And then you can go in the digital realm or whatever. Like, there's gonna be places where you can like do work, but it's not really gonna mean anything because the robots are doing the work anyway. You can work with the robots, but it's like, you know, it seems cold right now, but I think that it could possibly be a place of warmth when people get past whatever we're about to go past. I don't think it's going to be like a cold existence forever. I think that like we could see a baby boom when people don't feel like, why don't people having kids? What's the number one reason why people don't want to have kids? Well, it's economic reasons, security reasons. They don't know what the future is going to be like. They don't want their kid to be like struggling. You know, the big reason why people say they have abortions is because they don't want the economic responsibility. Well, why did we have a baby boom in the 40s or 50s or 60s, whatever it was? Why did we have that? Well, economically, we were kicking ass and people felt secure. So they're like, yeah, I'll have more kids. You know, so I think we can have another baby boom in the future. People want to know what a purpose could be. I mean, a big purpose is raising a human, a human that feels uh, love and is in a really loving environment, a very stable environment. Like that's the whole purpose, you know, like the whole concept of the man going to work and then coming home at, you know, a certain time, and then, you know, everyone's, oh, then it's dinner time, and it's like everyone's, it's just like daddy's home, blah 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 blah. So like you can actually like just go ahead and like be, you know, all the time be around, and then have your energy all the time with the family. So like I think that there's gonna be pros and cons, but it's just like an adjustment period what people are gonna have to go through. You're gonna have to adapt, and the big thing is humans can adapt very well, and I think that people who have relationships with other humans are gonna have to realize that like not only are you having a relationship with a human, but that other humans probably having a relationship with a robot. So like that's just gonna be normal. I don't know what to tell you. That's people are just gonna have to adjust and adapt to that, and you know that's just it is what it is. That's it.